Hello, A Person here, and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. This week, we're playing the third Challenger deck in this Challenger deck series, and this week, we're playing a control deck.
Control.
So yeah, this is Azorius Control, the 2021 Challenger deck. It is a control deck, as you can see, using blue and white, the most feared control colours. Well, maybe not so much in current standard, but this is what we've got for our control deck. So obviously it's a control deck, so we're able to try and stop the opponent from playing. Basically run them out of cards, then take over the game, hit him with big stuff, and basically create board states that they cannot deal with in top deck mode. So we just have to try and stay alive for the early turns, and eventually we win the game through sheer attrition alone. So that's the theory behind the control deck. So let's see what cards we're playing with so that we can go over them. Now, very important to note, I am recording this before Strixhaven has been released. Now, by the time this video comes out, Strixhaven will be out on Arena, so there'll be a lot more cards to play with. So take any advice with a pinch of salt, but you will notice that things will look a bit different depending on what you're now used to on Arena following the release of Strixhaven. Because for one thing, the sideboard factor will have changed by the time this video comes out. So just keep in mind when we're going through these cards. And yeah, this Challenger deck series will unfortunately conclude after Strixhaven comes out, but I don't really want to commit to making Strixhaven deck videos until I have plenty enough cards for it. So there's actually going to be a bit of a break after the Challenger deck series while I can get stuff ready for Strixhaven. So sorry about that. Yeah, but I am a free-to-play player, so I will be a bit slow on the uptake. Can't really appease the YouTube algorithm so much to get some Strixhaven videos out on day one. I'll just leave that to more dedicated Magic the Gathering channels. Anyway, enough about that. Let's just go over this Azorius Control deck and see what we're playing with. We have 2 Glass Casket, which is an artifact that exiles target creature with opponent controls with converted mana 3 or less. Skyclave Cleric, a 1/3 creature that gains 2 life when you come to the battlefield, and it can also be a land. So it's got a bit of utility in both ways. If we really need the life gain, we can put this down, and that helps keep us alive until we can get to our win condition. 4 Birth of Militis helps us hit our land drops by searching for a basic plains card, put it into the hand. So yeah, because we really want to get into as much lands as possible so we can play this deck properly. 1 copy of Negate, counter target non-creature spell for 2 mana, pretty good card overall. There's a fair few non-creature spells, so it does sort of depend on what we're up against really, but it's a good card overall. 4 copies of Omen of the Sea. This is going to be our main way of drawing cards in this deck, because I mean, this is a scry 2 and draw a card, but that also will assist another creature who is the face of the deck, which we'll get to later on. We have 4 copies of... No, 4 copies. What am I talking about? We only have 2 copies of Banishing Light, for goodness sake. So when Banishing Light enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. So we want to take enchantment removal as much as possible for maximum synergy, because that will make the deck a little bit better. And similarly, because we're running a fair few enchantments like Birth of Militis, Omen of the Sea and Banishing Light, Thirst for Meaning allows us to draw 3 cards and then discard an enchantment card, so we can increase our hand size and dig through for more options. Then we all got to the bane of everyone who hates facing a control deck, the counter spells. We have 3 copies of Neutralize, where we can counter for 3 mana, but we can also cycle it if we need be, because counter spells aren't always necessarily going to be useful. So having the option to cycle it is nice, but we also have Saw It Coming, which we can foretell for 2 mana, and then cast for 2 mana later on. So it's basically counter spell, but delay. So it's just probably the best counter spell in the standard right now. Unfortunately, this Challenger deck only has 1 copy of the card, so that's a bit of a shame, but we'll be able to make the most of it, I'm sure. Now to the 4 drops. We have 2 copies of Archon of Sun's Grace. So the reason we're playing so much enchantments is because of this card, because when an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you create a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. It itself has flying, and importantly also has lifelink. So if we start attacking with this thing, then every time we attack with Archon of Sun's Grace, all the tokens, We also have lifelink, thanks to Archon of Sun's Grace. Then we gain life and keep ourselves alive. You create this state that your opponent cannot do enough damage to defeat you, and you eventually win through sheer attrition. Also, we have 2 copies of Shatter the Sky. Ideally, we want to avoid playing our Archon of Sun's Grace or the other creature in this deck until after we've played a board wipe to get rid of all our opponent's stuff. We want to use board wipes to try and cut our opponent down to size, have them play out their entire hand, make them lose everything, and then we can win the game from there by playing our Archon of Sun's Grace or the other creature. We also have Behold the Multiverse, two cards of this. This is a really good card. It lets you just scry 2, then draw 2 cards, and if you foretell it, you can do it for 2 mana. That is an amazing trade-off, considering the mana you put into it. So this is a fantastic card and should definitely be in the deck. There's only 2 copies of it, but I'm sure we can have some more in the edited version of the deck, which we'll get around to later. Joining Shatter the Sky, we have 1 copy of Doomscar, which can destroy all creatures for 5 mana, or we can foretell it for just 3 mana, and then that allows us to destroy all our opponent's creatures and still have mana left over on their turn to counter something, like a negate for instance, or a neutralise, although saw it coming is probably more likely on that front. 3 copies of Elspeth Conquers Death, another enchantment, and this is probably one of the best ones because it allows us to exile a target permanent with converted mana cost 3 or greater once it comes onto the battlefield. Then eventually will allow us to fetch out our Archon of Sun's Grace if it gets destroyed for whatever reason. So that is extremely useful, and we can also use it to fetch Skyclave Clerics out of the graveyard to gain 2 life again. So nice card here. Well, it's just a really good card, and also taxes our opponents if they're playing a control deck on the opposing turn. So that's a really good effect to have. 1 copy of Shark Typhoon. This is a really good card. Unfortunately, there's only 1 copy of it in this Challenger deck, but hey, you can cycle it for X and 1 in a blue to create a XX shark, or you can directly cast it, and then whenever we cast an enchantment or non-creature spell, we get to create a shark, rapidly flooding the board with sharks that your opponent cannot counter because they're being created through an enchantment, and that basically allows them to win the game. But we also have 2 copies of Dream Trawler, which is a filthy broken card. Flying lifelink. Whenever you draw a card, Dream Trawler gets +1/+0 until the end of the turn. Whenever it attacks, you get to draw a card, and you can also discard a card to give it hexproof until the end of the turn. And it does get tapped down, but the thing is, this thing is going to be attacking for about 5 in the air every single turn, and you're getting 5 life off it. It becomes practically impossible for your opponent to win in such a situation. Dream Trawler is an amazing card. So this Sphinx will be our main win condition and what we really want to get out. So yeah, Dream Trawler is a fantastic card. We also have Emeria's Core, which allows us to create 2 4/4 White Angel Warrior creature tokens with flying and give indestructible, and it could also be a land if we need it to be. Onto the mana base, we have 8 plains, helps by fetching through Birth of Meletis, 8 islands, 4 Temples of Enlightenment, and 4 Tranquil Cove. And now onto the sideboard, which was a bit of a pain to build because I was backing some of the cards, so yay for old school sideboards! We have 2 more Glass Caskets, so if our opponent's playing an aggro deck, we can bring this in to help. Confounding Conundrum, which is good against landfall decks because it basically stops our opponent's well, it basically reduces our opponent's ability to ramp in those types of decks. Essence Scatter allows us to counter creature spells. Banishing Light, just bring that in more for more if the opponents play a high cost deck. Skyclave Apparition, a fantastic card, but I'm a bit disappointed to see it's only in the sideboard, but I can kind of understand considering the fact that we do want to have enchantments in the deck, so Archon of Sun's Grace having Banishing Light to access it makes more sense really. 3 Mystical Dispute, a really good card. It's especially really good against other control decks and decks playing blue because it only costs 1 mana if it targets a blue spell. And finally we have 1 more Archon of Sun's Grace, which well, that's in there for, I guess. As I said, I don't build the decks, I'm just copying them through what Wizards put out. Filthy net decker, I know. So yeah, As I said, all the gameplay you'll see will be pre-Strixhaven. You won't get to see the Strixhaven board until next week when we do the final Challenger deck. But for now, let's enter the arena!
Two hours later.
Well, it's a bit of a slow hand admittedly, so we're going to mulligan this. Also running low on time because everything got severely delayed, so I feel the pressure to try and keep this. Timer put a card to the bottom of my library. She should read it, it's taking way too long to get anywhere. For goodness sake. Plays Islands. We're going to put down a Temple of Enlightenment to scry for some options. Ooh, a Doomscar, that's nice. We really want to have a board wipe necessary. That being said, our opponent's playing blue, so they might not be playing creatures. So the usefulness of a board wipe remains to be seen. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and foretell the Doomscar. Okay, right, so we're going to put down Temple of Enlightenment. I think, yeah, that's actually nice thing to have. We're actually not going to cast the Birth Releases just yet, so we're going to leave things out a bit. And return flashing over the sea. So it's not a mono blue deck, it's in fact an Izzet deck. Don't think we're going to need another Birth Releases, so we're going to bottom that. Put this down here. I do want to build up my lands a bit more, so we're going to go ahead and... Actually, no, let's leave it like that. Oh, no, actually, no, never mind. What am I saying? Let's Birth Releases. Get planes into hand. Sure, we hit our land drops. I will warn you, the games in with this deck can be very long because we really want to drag out the game as much as possible until we can win the game. Eager the Freezing Flame. I'm going to play a giant deck though. Over the sea. Elspeth Conquers Death, nice. We want to get the other land in if possible, so yeah. Right, let's Banishing Lights. That's Eager. And well, we wouldn't be able to cast anything else, so let's just Skyclave Cleric. Invasion of the Giants coming down. Now Elspeth Conquers Death can't hit that, but they're also going to foretell a card. Oh, we have a counter spell! Fun times! Right, so we're going to go and leave that and start attacking with our Skyclave Cleric. Right, so now we'll hold up the counter spell. We do take 2 unfortunately because they were giants in hand, but we can counter any giant they play, hopefully. No, they're being wise to it. Okay, well, first one moving then. They might have their own counter spell, admittedly. We're gonna have to. I kind of want to keep the Elspeth Conqueror's Death, so we're going to discard the planes and another Thirst for Meaning. My turn. Another Thirst for Meaning, of course. Well, I want to wait until we got to 7 mana before casting the Archon of Sun's Grace, just in case they have a counter spell for it. Okay, let's see how this goes. Frostbite. Okay, well, I'd rather do that. I'd rather lose the Psycho than get something else on the board, so yeah. I think best to save the counter spell for when that comes down. Oh, the Shiver Drift Bell, that's what they're putting down. Rogue Strider, counter spell. Hopefully they can't do anything else. Nope, let's stress the moon again. Discard Birth of Malicious because we don't necessarily need it anymore. Ooh, a Shark Typhoon. ECD coming there. Right, we don't have 10 spells, so we might just go cast a Shark Typhoon. Especially since they can't counter it. Giant Aggro coming down. Unfortunately, that's hexproof, so that's slightly annoying. Archon of Sun's Grace, I think, is going to come down now. Actually, what should I use the Doom Scar to get rid of it? What am I doing? That was dumb. Glimpse the Cosmos going down. Squash coming out. So in response, we'll use our Omen of the Sea to get our triggers down. That will also trigger Archon of Sun's Grace before it goes away. We don't need any more board wipes now. Cosmos coming down. In 1 life. ECD will not do much for the moment until we have a target for it. We do have our wall we can use to get somewhere, but the Pegasus token no longer has life link because of ideally, we want to board wipe in the second phase of the Elspeth Conqueror's Death. Really, trying to avoid our stuff getting counted, aren't they? We can take that. That's the frost and fire that's been countered. And we get another shark. And we're going to use our Omen of the Sea to strike through. Yeah, we don't still really need too many more lands, so we'll squire those away. But that's not really ideal either. Right, we're just going to go ahead and attack. Turn the deck. Hopefully they have a target for our ACD soon enough. Use the Cosmos again. As I said, the games with this deck are going to be very long. Here we go, the Freezing Flame comes down. Well, let's target to our ACD next turn. And we're getting one of our sharks squashed. Take that. I think we're getting close to be able to win the game actually. BCD, Eager. And unless we get board wipe next turn, I think we can win the game. And down to 1, so let's see what happens. Storm's Wrath would destroy our entire board except for this 5/5 shark. So the 5/5 is a bit of a problem unless they have squash for it. Giant's Grasp is going to gain control of the Giants. Take out a shark type. Well, that's annoying. Ah, yeah, we get squashed. But I'm sorry, but you cannot block all the damage coming through. So yep, they can see the game and we win! Victory for Azorius Control. Right then, let's move on to the next game. We're going first, which doesn't necessarily mean too much for a control deck, but we also only have white mana, so hopefully we can find some blue later on. Doom Sky is a nice option to have though, so let's keep that in hand. We're against Hideyuki Otsubo. They put a white down and put a Speaker of the Heavens down. Okay, we're going to go ahead, still no blue mana, but we can foretell a Doom Scar. Season Hallowblade. Come on! Well, that's a bit annoying. Right. We're going to go ahead and Doomscar. Now we'll get rid of the Speaker of the Heavens, but it will force them to discard through Season Hallowblade. However, that could also be a good thing to really want their hand size down so that they can't play anything else. Season Hallowblade is something we'll definitely need to get Banishing Light to deal with. But I think that's the only card in the deck we have in the deck that can actually deal with Season Hallowblade. Another Speaker. I'll see the Life's Bounty coming down as well. Oh, blue mana, finally. Right, before we do anything else, you're very pretty low on cards there, sir. Sword of the Realms coming down. Great. Well, that's annoying. I think we'll drop an Archon of Sun's Grace this turn. So that way we can start getting Lifelink back. That's going to be our best chance of combating this seasoned Hallowblade. Now, admittedly, they will equip Sword of the Realms next turn, so we won't be able to block the Rocket without losing our Archon. Oh, come on, really? Fine then. Have it your way. I've got another one in hand, so I might as well. Another land. Sword of the Realms going, yeah, I thought that was going eventually. Well, at least we get to keep the Archon of Sun's Grace. Down to just 5. Right, can ECD Exile it can't because it's too low, but we can get rid of the Banishing Light, so we'll do that. And now we have 2 Archon of Sun's Graces. And we'll block the Seasoned Hallowblade with the Pegasus token next turn. Felidar Retreat coming down. Well, that's annoying. Another land. All the blue lands seem to have gone away at the moment. So much whites. We can't really counter anything. So Birth of Miletus. And they can state. Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. Is that fun? Well, yes. Very much so. That is going to be a victory for Azorius Control. Going well so far. Recorded 2 games and managed to win both of them. So, let's move on to the next game. We're going first. Only 3 lands technically. We will. I'm not keeping that just so that we can have We can strive for some more stuff with Temple Lightning anyway. Ooh, a Dream Trawler. Just think we don't have too many options for actually dealing with opponents, so that's try and build a chest in the sky if possible. So we will put this down and behold the multiverse. Foretell it. Opponents have played a Temple of Deceit, so they might be playing a Dimir Control deck potentially. Yep! Well, there goes the Dream Trawler. Yep, called it. Obviously, you get to keep. Actually, that probably means that it's not giving much use. Anyway. Azorius Cahllenger coming down, right? Right, let's see if we can find something to deal with it. Get banished from life if possible. Actually, Glass Casket will do just fine. We'll also take the aim with the seas possibility as well. Put you down. Glass Casket. Goodbye, Nighthawk Scavenger. Comes down. Right. Time to try and sort their hand. So, sort the deck. What have they got? So, Blood Chiefs first. That's we don't really mind them having that. So, the Clackbridge Troll, I think, is they've been the Clackbridge Troll for the Blood Chiefs first. Only the sea coming down. Saw it come in. That's pretty neat to have. We're going to pay 3 life for this. That way we can foretell our Saw it come in. See what else they put down. Organising Remorse. Oh, let's do a hand, thank you. Leave 3 mana open this thing stands. And Brazen Boys from this. They have a freaking Nighthawk Scavenger instead. Well, you know what? Have it your way then. Mattress coming down again. Hopefully they've been another Nighthawk Scavenger. Yep. Just giving them more lands. And now Elspeth Conquers Death, I think, can exile this. Yeah, it can. Unless they have a counter spell for it. In which case we're screwed. We'll keep the negation hands so that we can play Archon of Sun's Grace without worrying about it being countered. faster coming down. Ooh. And a Brazen Boiler. Oh, we're gonna land, nice. Okay, we're gonna drop the Archon of Sun's Grace. I did Blood Chief's first in hand, which I'll probably use on the Archon of Sun's Grace, but we can negate it, so. Another Brazen Borrower coming down. That's a bit actually faster. That'll be fun. I'm gonna get that. We're going to get it back through Elspeth Conquer's death, so this is why I'm doing this. +1/+1 counter it. Now cast Shark Typhoon. Let's use first, comes down, kills the token, dang it. Right, can we survive this now? I think we'll have to let Fassa hit us. But they concede anyway. People just love conceding to this deck. That's really good record of wins so far. Okay, sorry about the footage you may be seeing right now. I'm having a few issues with encoding overloads, so yeah, the old lag is really starting to set in again, but cannot be helped, unfortunately. It's CPU issues, I guess. Anyway, we will be moving on to the next game. We're going first. We've got 2 counter spells, so that's pretty good. We're going to keep this. Temporary Enlightenment down. Well, another late removal option if needs be. Put you down and foretell I saw it coming. Lotus Cobra going down. Ooh, that's dangerous. We'll have to leave that and we will hold open our neutralize. Start adding mana. That's as far as you go. Right, this turn we're going to go ahead and ooh, banishing lighting the Lotus Cobra is actually a lot more tempting now. Neutralize. Are they banishing light? Are banishing lights? Really? Okay, that was ridiculous. Cross Birth and Milesis. Keep our land drops going. Lotus Cobra should get more mana. So I guess probably they got third eye retreat in the deck, but I don't know for sure. And they don't want their stuff to get countered, so they're just going to leave it there. Right, this could be incredibly awkward, but Elspeth Pumpkin's death to get rid of their Banishing Lights. That's going to get our Banishing Light back, which is going to exile their Lotus Cobra. Magic is dumb sometimes. Oof. The Salt Ravager. Well, we're gonna exile that too. 2 Elspeth Pumpkin's deaths. This is ridiculous now. And oh, Scoop Swarm, of course. We've probably done with energy it's worse, but see what else they can play. Suppose we can't really counter bands, and that's just gonna really get on things down. Well, for now we can block them, but like a handful of counters isn't really helping much here, I think. So we do need to hold the Scoot army back somewhat. So I'm just gonna leave more blockers up so we can get something like an Archon of Sun's Grace or a Dream Trawler and can fly straight over them. However, Scoot Swarm is gonna... Yeah, what we need to try and get to is a board wipe, so... We'll neutralise that. I will cycle away either neutralise so that we get to a potential board wipe. That's not a board wipe. Birth Militia's coming down. So again, no attacks. As I said, this deck is a game of patience. Extreme patience. Oh fun, Fabled Passage. That's been triggered bazillion Scoot Swarms. Hopefully my computer can handle this recording, because it has failed with Scoot Swarms in the past. Look at that. We need a board wipe, say it. I think we only need to kill one at a time too. For goodness sake, where's board wipes when you need it? Migratory Greathorn. I should have answered that to this. That was stupid. And we're dead on board. Crap. It wouldn't matter anyway. Good game. We lost the Scoot Swarm army because we could not find our board right. Rather depressing end to the episode, if I'm perfectly honest. But, you know, this deck did pretty well. We managed to win 3 games. I will actually go straight to the outro because we do not actually have any bloopers today. Yeah, I know, it's rather unusual, but this deck had a really good success rate and I really didn't feel the need to record much more than what we had. So, hey, yeah, let's go straight to the deck wrap up. Wow, that went pretty well, didn't it? We managed to win 3 games, only managed to lose 1, and that was just because of the Scoot Swarm en masse onslaught we received in the final game. Well, I should have really counted the Scoot Swarm in the end, and then we couldn't find any board wipes to deal with it, so we basically lost at that point. In fact, when we needed board wipes, all we were drawing was lands. That was super annoying. Anyway, yeah, this deck was pretty good. However, I feel that there is a way you can improve it because I feel that it's far from optimized. It's a very skill-intensive deck, so you need to make the right decisions in order to win the game. But at the same time, I feel like now Neutralize is a good pick here, but only 4 counter spells in the deck didn't really help matters. Okay, technically 5 because negate, but yeah, I don't really feel though like there were enough counter spells in this deck to really do things with. Obviously, you still have other removal, but stuff would take up slots like Skyclave Cleric, and Tranquil Cove was not really optimum in the deck really. So I would probably replace those. In fact, I would recommend you add 20 more cards to this deck. Why? Well, let's pop over to the final version of the deck to find out just why. Okay, so this is the final version of the deck I made, and there's one significant tweak I've made. This deck now has a companion. We have added Yorion Sky Nomad as our companion, on the condition that we have to have 20 cards more than the minimum deck size, so we're playing an 80 card deck as a result. And the reason is the Yorion is just perfect for this deck because it synergizes so well with our enchantments like Elspeth Conquers Death, Banishing Light, etc. Because when Yorion comes in, it exiles any number of non-land permanents you own and control. Return those cards to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. This makes Archon of Sun's Grace even better, so yeah. So actually we've had to increase the deck size, and this gives the opportunity to make several major tweaks. First of all, the land base, we're up to 32 lands. The mana base has been kept, the initial size is pretty much the same, apart from the fact that we now have 4 Hengegate Mistgate pathway instead of the 4 Tranquil Cove that was there previously. Add to that, I've also added 4 Raugan Triome and 4 Fabled Passage into the deck so that we can fetch our lands a bit more and fix our colours a lot better. Now, Birth of Militias, Omen of the Sea is about the same, but there's no Skyclave Cleric or Glass Casket anymore. Those have been, well, Skyclave Cleric was cut altogether. Glass Casket is now in the sideboard. As for the next stuff, we've got up to 4 Banishing Lights, so we just have more access to more easy removal. 2 copies of Mystical Dispute, just having in there gives us the option of a 1 mana counter spell if we have to be up against blue decks. So we're only running at 2. 2 Thirst for Meaning have gone down from 3 because we've actually reduced the number of enchantments. I didn't feel like there was too many enchantments to get the full benefit of Thirst for Meaning out, so I cut it down slightly. Then we've got 4 copies of Neutralize, up from 3 previously, but we've added even more counter spells, but I go up to 4 copies of Saw It Coming, which I think is better than Neutralize, so this will probably be the priority counter spell on the deck. So that means that we are now up to 10 counter spells in an 80 card deck, which is still roughly a similar ratio to before. Actually, I think it's a lot better really. But we have a lot more access to counter spells, so we can stop our opponent from playing stuff. Then we go on to the 4 drops. We're up to 3 Archon of Sun's Grace. We took one of the Archons out of the sideboard and put it into the main deck. 2 Shatter the Sky, 2 Doom Scar. I would recommend actually having 4 Doom Scar, but as of things now, I only have 2 Doom Scar. So 2 Shatter the Sky does at least bring it up to 4 board wipes. So there is that. 4 copies of Behold the Multiverse, because this card is just so good, so I'm running all 4 copies. And then we will have 3 copies of Elspeth Conquers Death, for obvious reasons, we was already in there, and 3 more copies of Yorion in the main deck, just so we can have the exile effect happen multiple times, because 1 Yorion simply isn't enough, because Yorion's effect is a one-time only affair. Up to 4 copies of Shark Typhoon. This is going to be so much better, because with only 1 copy, I felt loath to actually cycle it, and would rather just play it out. Now in multiple copies, we can cycle away extra copies easily, create more sharks, and still be able to cast a Shark Typhoon later on in the game. Now we've got Ameria's Call as before. I also got 2 copies of Dream Trawler. So yeah, those are the changes I made. As for the sideboard, I've also got put 3 glass caskets. I've got 4 Skyclave Apparition in the sideboard now instead of just 2. It's a really good card, but the problem is it is technically better than Banishing Light, but this but Banishing Light plays better with Archon the Sun's Grace, so that's why we're running it there. So yeah, that's pretty much why. Anyway, you can look at stuff like Strixhaven is out by this point, so there may be other tweaks you can make to the deck. For example, you can look at Paolo Vitor Damo de Rosa's card, which you can see on the screen right now. That's is a potential option for the deck. Paolo Vitor Damo de Rosa did win the World Championships with an Azorius Control deck, which was very similar to this and how it was enchantment based. However, the main reason that deck was so good was because of Teferi Time Raveler, which has rotated and is pretty much banned because the card is utterly broken. So yeah, what a surprise, broken cards winning World Championships. It's almost like that's always going to happen whenever there's a broken card in Standard. But yeah, with Strixhaven coming out, you've also got Pop Quiz, which could be another option because that allows you to fetch a very specific card from your sideboard to be able to counter something. It kind of reminds me of the Yu-Gi-Oh card Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, which was banned because of how ridiculously good it was. It was basically Pot of Greed. Anyway, let's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh. This is a Magic the Gathering video, so I should probably stop talking about that for now. I don't really have much more to say actually. Happy Strixhaven launch. I will be getting around to Strixhaven at a later date, but as of things now, I'm planning to take a break after finishing the Challenger Deck series. We have 1 more Challenger Deck left to do, and then I'll be trying to amass some cards for Strixhaven, so I will see you after then. For now though, thank you for watching this video. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, please share this with your friends to get more people watching the channel. Please subscribe for more gaming and TCG content, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when new videos come out. Also follow me on Twitter at generic A Person or one word. Thank you for watching. I've been A Person, goodbye!